What makes an elite founder isn't IQ or talent, it's how consistently they execute, even when it's uncomfortable. Think of the highest value task you avoided this week. Maybe it was writing a new offer, or running outbound, or making a hiring decision. Your conscious mind wanted to do it. It hit the gas, but your subconscious mind didn't believe you were capable of doing it, so it tapped the brake. That is what I call the execution gap. That gap sets the ceiling for your life and your business. And the more it shows up, the lower that ceiling is. Over the past few years, I've helped hundreds of founders close that gap through a repeatable science-backed system that I'm gonna share with you in this video. The best skill in business is not sales or marketing, is execution. It's learning how to do the right thing every single day without getting distracted or doubtful. This is the skill that makes elite founders elite. It's not how much marketing they know, what is their offer, it's how consistently they can execute on what they know. For you to become an incredible operator, you must train your mind for it. And if you don't want to figure this out on your own over many years or decades, you can book a decoding session below. We're going to run you through an analysis to pinpoint the exact cause of you being stuck and give you a proven roadmap to scale yourself. Book your decoding session below. First, you got to understand that this execution gap is not theoretical. It's literally everywhere in your life right now. And solving it has nothing to do with motivation, hustle, or having the right tool. It's about removing the friction between what your conscious mind wants and what your subconscious mind is wired to protect. That friction is what creates fear, so you avoid uncomfortable moves. Perfectionism, so you over-prepare and undership. Dopamine loops, so you scroll instead of executing. And it shows up anytime, anywhere. When you want to do outbound, but you end up wasting hours on TikTok. When you know you need to record content, but you tweak the theme of your website for the 7th time. That is the gap in real time. And it doesn't go away through hustle and grind, but through alignment, because consistency is neurobiological. You need alignment between the conscious and the subconscious mind. If you're wired, underslept, or underfed, pretty much every hard task is going to be perceived by the subconscious as unsafe. The way forward is through systems that lead to better mental default. And a system is just a specific, repeatable sequence with a clear cause-effect loop and built-in feedback. And it goes beyond just a to-do list. The best systems pre-commit behavior in time and space. They reduce friction from the environment. They produce consistency that the brain can learn from and eventually trigger neuroplasticity, the process by which your brain rewires itself. Neuroscience tells us that repetition and feedback are what strengthen synaptic connections, and overriding mental resistance with awareness and emotional change leads to identity update. That is how you make action become automatic and how you change your identity in business. And the more you repeat the right actions, the easier this gets. So if you tried productivity hacks, Pomodoro, getting things done, Notion in the past, and they did not stick, that's because those are not systems, they're tools. And tools help when you are already aligned. But when your nervous system resists, you need a system that makes action non-negotiable. And the fastest way to rewire your brain is a protocol we teach at Selfmastered. It's simple, but it works very well. Is input, behavior, feedback, adaptation. That is the behavioral feedback loop that your brain is built to follow. And you don't need to be consistent 24/7. You need to segment your day in 90-minute blocks that we call ring-fence session and execute within those sessions. A good day has 3 ring-fence sessions. An elite day, 5 or 6. And these blocks train your brain to focus, flow, and ship without negotiation, without friction, without letting the execution gap derail you. And we have a specific way of setting these blocks that make them incredibly effective. First, we define with precision what the task is about. I'm going to be writing 2,000 words of this landing page. Then we set a timer to trigger urgency and help our subconscious lock in on the task. We also use breath work to center the mind and activate the relaxation response. Before starting, we visualize the end outcomes and the unexpected blockages to preload the right behaviors. And finally, once we're done, we log what happened and we check if we completed the task and how far were we from our assumption. The last step is to check our adaptation weekly and daily to see how we're able to do harder stuff over time. This is the same loop that I used to go from broke architect to private equity director in 30 months and then build this business to 6 figures in 6 months while having to learn how to write in English, marketing, sales, product, and everything in between. This is the same loop that hundreds of our clients use every day to bend time and get more done per hour than anyone else on the planet. This loop is so important that I built a tool years ago that our clients use to track their outcomes. And this is not theory, this is behavioral rewarding in practice. And all your life should be architected around 2 things: creative ring-fence sessions that compound and removing all friction that keeps you stuck. That's it. If you do this, you will build evidence that will create a new identity. And this is not about being on 24/7, but about closing the execution gap, 1 ring-fence session at a time, and let consistency rewire your brain. That gap determines whether you are successful or not in business. And elite founders don't leave that gap unbridged. They do not let their identity maybe follow what they do. They design the right conditions to execute on what matters, and that evidence is what creates their identity. That feedback loop is what makes anyone dangerous very, very fast. This is the path. If you want to walk with us, if you want our help in getting rid of all those productivity, focus, consistency, and business problems, book a decoding session with us, and we will show you how we help our people crush their own expectations every single month. See you on the call.